Alright, we're trying, we're trying. There we go. Alright. Whose thumb is that? Alright. Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome back to Rad Rocket Science. And as you can tell, I'm definitely trying to figure this stuff out. Having a little bit of a hard time getting videos uploaded and so forth. So we're going to try a live feed again. Once again, I don't know if there's anyone out there. So if you type something to me and I don't respond, it's not because I'm trying to be rude. So here we go. This is what I'd like to show you guys now. There's some of my stuff that I have found over time. Some of the stuff that's available to pretty much everyone, and it's really just out there for the picking, so to speak. I'm going to try to do a little bit of it here and there, and I don't know if I'll be able to get on my channel and see if I can see this is on or not. Oh yeah, it says live now. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, I'm creating reverb here. Let me put volume. Alright, let's see. So okay, we've got some stuff set up here. I'm going to try to do this a little better. I appreciate your patience. I'm not sure what's happening there. Oop. Okay, what we've got here is we've got a time lag. So I'm going to point to a silver dollar here. Some half dollars and so forth that are made out of 90% silver. A lot of this stuff was intended for circulation, and back in the day it was what you got no matter what change you got. If you got a 50-cent piece, a quarter, a dollar, a dime, they were 90% silver. From 1943 to 1945, if I'm not mistaken, the nickels were actually 35% silver. They were using the nickel for the war effort. So I mentioned treasure in the first video. So let's see. Probably the easiest thing in the world is your pocket change. We'll go down here, and again, y'all have to give me. My hands have been quite damaged. From 1965 to 1970, any 50-cent piece that was found had 40% silver in it. If you go to the bank and get a box of 50-cent rolls, we call it coin roll hunting, you don't have to buy a box. Sometimes you can find random rolls. The gentleman recently picked up a roll that had twice as many coins as usual, and all 20 of the coins were 90% silver, Franklin half dollars. Didn't cost him a penny, 50 cents for 50 cents, but at the end of the day, he had 40 coins that were worth $8 a piece just in silver. Not to mention the value of them numismatically, or for the coin collector. You're seeing some knives. This is an old knife from the 1940s. This is a knife from the 1920s. Back here we've got when Puma in Germany used to make their own knives. Phenomenal stuff. Since moved to China. Don't buy a Chinese knife. Back here is a Uncle Henry golden spike made by the Schrade Company, the same people who made this. And it's preserved just like it was today. If you would have walked into a hardware store back in 1973, 1974 and bought this thing, that's how well it's preserved. It's a gem that I picked up off of eBay. This is another eBay gem. I spoke of a knife that I purchased for $5. It was a buy it now. And that's kind of an important knife because there's a couple of lessons here with both of these knives, as a matter of fact. You know, whoever put this knife on eBay decided they wanted $5 for it and $3.90 for shipping. I saw it. I saw that it had some damage and so forth. I know that WR Case & Sons will fix this knife. After I purchased it and I received it, I went and dug out my book. Now, my book is at least 20 years old, so the prices, the values are 20 years old. This knife valued $1,500, and I paid $5 for it. This knife has about a $220, $250 value, and it's from the 1940s. I bought it at a yard sale for 10 bucks. Now, the important thing is that this young lady had no idea what she had, and I didn't walk up there and say, hey, how about taking $5 for it, because that's just wrong. You know, people talk about karma. I'm not a big subscriber to karma because I've spent my life trying to share with others and never to take anything that wasn't mine. And those of you who know me know that I ended up paralyzed in the hospital for a year, and my whole life changed. And so people who believe in karma might think, I wonder what that guy did. Well, I don't want people to think that. Could nothing could be farther from the truth. This is made by the Schrade brand. They make Old Timer, Uncle Henry, and so forth. The Old Timer knives are made out of carbon. The Uncle Henry knives are made out of stainless. Basically, that's the only difference in the two. Now, I'm unable to use this knife right now, but you see here, there's a little button. This button moves forwards and backwards, and it's a locking mechanism because this is a paratrooper's knife. And one of my favorite YouTubers, Shane Clash over at Clash Guitars, thank you for your service, sir. He was a paratrooper. There's a blade, for lack of a better term, on this side that comes out, and it's not sharp at all, but it's a little hook, and you can use it to untangle your cords. I imagine when you're plummeting into the earth, that might be a pretty important thing. And because you can unlock this and press that button with one hand, the blade flips open. It's technically a switchblade. This knife does function 100%. But again, I picked it up for 10 bucks, and easily I can get $100 for it if I decided to sell. In fact, I have sold some in the past. So there's a couple of examples of treasure that you can just, in your everyday life, if you use a little bit of effort, you can go out and locate this stuff. Now, to get into another thing is, hoping that it doesn't take too long, that we get 100 subscribers, 100 likes, 100 comments. I'm going to start sharing my stuff with people out there, my subscribers. And my email, I don't know if it's listed on YouTube or not, but it's a multi-pass from the movie The Fifth Element. And basically what a multi-pass does, it allows you to go anywhere on the planet Floston and the ship for Floston Paradise. And in life, I'd like for folks to understand that we all have that same multi-pass. So I'm looking for passengers to jump on and go with this journey. This is an example of something that is called not intended for circulation. And that means it was minted by the mint for collectors. And these examples are proof. And somebody is going to own this just for liking, subscribing, commenting, or what have you. I'll ship it out. Now that's going to have to be inside the United States because of the laws that they put. But a couple of different things. One, these are not intended for circulation. Believe it or not, somewhere along the line, somebody's going to get their hands on some of this stuff and they're going to crack it open, go out and spend it. And, when I bought these from the Mint, my subscription to the Mint, I think they were, I'm going to say $14.95. Each one of these coins, they're not my favorite, but they're beautiful proof examples, will go anywhere from $10 to $15 now. So you can 4 times your money in a short period of time. That was 2013, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, essentially. Proof, you'll see the back of the coin is like a mirror, and then the subject on the coin is frosted. Same thing on the reverse of the coins. These were struck specifically for collectors with special dies and special plugs. Planchettes, I think they call them. Now, another level of this is one of these, I'm not sure which one it is, I have to look it up, but one of these is common to have errors. I haven't checked these, but if you have an error on one of these coins, instead of it being worth 10 or 12 bucks, it's worth 3, 4, 500, in some cases thousands of dollars, which I'll show you an example with these state quarters. But that's going to be the first thing given away, just for liking, subscribing, commenting, what have you. So there's that. It comes with a certificate of authentication, COA. They're not as nice as they used to be, but at least it is still on some good stock with some nice font. It used to have foil and so forth, which you'll see in a minute. Yeah, I have no idea how long this has run already. We're going at about 10, 12 minutes. I'll try not to have too much error in the conversation. But up next, we're going to start getting into some of those bills and some of those coins down there that you guys see. Honestly, I don't even know if this is actually broadcasting live. I'm looking at it on my computer and it's just buffering. So we'll see what happens. Now, all right, we've got some examples. We've got old $2 bill, $1 bills. Now this 5 and this 20 right here, that came in my pocket change over this past weekend. I believe it was Sunday. I went to the grocery store and got $40 change, and the 20 and the 5, I'll take those and show you to you specifically. Back here, something you could have ordered from the U.S. Mint back in 1986. And back then it cost $15. Today it's worth $25 or $30. So here's, let me move this up here. Let's see. This right here is just an example of some silver. That's 5 troy ounces right there, and that's something you can order just if you want to do what's called stacking. We'll save that for another video, but that's just one example of how you can put stuff away. Put a little bit of butter. Alrighty, enough silliness. This $5 bill, we're going to call it a fancy note. And I hope y'all can see that. The serial number is 19996204. So that could be the 6 as the 5th letter could be June, and the 20 could be the 20th, or the 2 could be the 2nd. So someone born on 6/2 or 6/20 of 1999, I promise you will pay $10 for this note on eBay. It's like 80 cents to ship. So you wonder, how many people might have been born on that day. Well, according to the census worldwide, we're looking at about 19 million. So there's a lot of people that were born on that day. And again, this is a brand new example of the current $5 bill. It's worth twice as much money if you just look to look for it. And I found it in my pocket change. Here's a 20. I picked up at the exact same time. The odds of that aren't that high, but it does happen. This bill, again, it's a current note. The numbers on it are 41619900. So we're looking at, could be April 16th of 1990. That $20 bill easily will sell on eBay for $30. So you made $10 on a single note. It's a new note. Other thing you can find in your change, not quite as often. If you go to the bank and say, give me a stack of $1 bills, you can go through these dollar bills. Now this is what's called a silver certificate. Back in the day, I believe this was in the 60s. The note reads, silver certificate. This certifies that there is on deposit in the United States Treasury, or the Treasury of the United States of America, $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. So literally you could walk into a bank. Today's silver is almost $16 an ounce. This would be $16 worth of silver. But now you're not going to get that today. Today's notes are basically worthless unless you find something fancy. But that's what's called a silver certificate, and it's written right across the top. Next we'll go to, here's another fancy note right here, excuse me. Now these are pretty hard to come by. This note is 307777771 That's a lot of sevens consecutively. And people who like the number seven or what have you, it's very rare to find something like this. On top of that, that first seven is double inked. And this ink that looks like someone wrote on that note, they didn't. This is ink from the mint. It actually spilled onto there and dropped down. It is the exact same ink that's for writing, so forth, the United States of America. I don't even. Alrighty. Let's see. We've got down here. We joined with Shane Clush over at Clush Guitars. He'll send you a guitar pick. This is another silver in this 50-cent piece. Anytime you can trade 50 cents for $5, I don't think you'd want to pass that up. These are some of the things to look for, folks. This is an old school walking Liberty half dollar. Again, occasionally go to the bank or you go to the grocery store. You can go to Coinstar. I just realized that I had filthy fingernails. Oh well. I never was a hand model. Down here, let me get back to the pointers. This is celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. This is a silver dollar, 90% silver. It's also a proof with the mirror and the frost. And this is a 50-cent piece. Again, if you would have bought that in 1995, it's all I bought for $5 on a buy it now, and I lost my connection. Okay, so I don't know how to end these videos. I just wanted to get something else out there. Hopefully I got a little chuckle out of you guys. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully it even got onto the video, onto the YouTube. So look forward to these coming out. Maybe I'm going to get a little better each time. I hope this was a little more entertaining than the first one. I'm going to try to show stuff like this, maybe get out in my kayak, get out in my canoe, and what have you. But thanks for coming along, and hopefully I'll be able to end this thing.